Hello and welcome to another Google Docs video. This one I'm going to show you how to create a presentation. So go under Create, click on the Presentation button, and you'll get not only a blank presentation, but you also get a whole range of backgrounds to choose from. And I'm going to pick this one and say OK. Defaults to showing that list of themes for every new presentation that you make. I'm going to just put in placeholders for the title and the subtitle, just so that we can see where they end up, and also then add a new slide. And notice the formatting for the background is automatic. I didn't have to do anything. So here I'm going to say a list of directions, simple directions. It says click to add text. I'm going to put in a text box. I've copied something from a Google Doc and I want to paste that into this slide. Here's my Google Doc selection. Text box is highlighted, it's active, and there's my text. Then I can insert other blank slides following that. I may want to have a practice slide. And for now, I'm just going to add some blank slides just as placeholders. Again, Control M would add a new slide, and you can see now I've got 5 slides. I've got a reading passage on one. I've got some blank slides that don't have, that just have the background. So here might be where I would put a passage, a different passage to read, maybe a simpler sentence. And again, there aren't any spell check features with slides, so you have to be careful with the spelling. You can change text formatting. You can add numbered lists and bullets to slides, just like with a already prepared presentation. You can put in lines and shapes. I had already put in a text box. You can bring in images to slides. Of course, you can insert a link. All sorts of things that you can do. And this is just on this menu. That doesn't include these other menus. It defaults to an untitled presentation as the file name. So you probably want to rename it, and that's under File. And I'm just going to call this Sample. And now the name shows up rather than untitled presentation. Let's see, if I go back to this slide, this text is a little hard to read, but there is a magnifying glass here that allows me to zoom in on the text, and with each successive zoom I get to see what's on next. So this happens to be a definition of science from Wikipedia, and I can scroll across to see the right edge of the slide. I scroll back to the left and you see the left edge of the slide. So even though the view is small, the original size is only 36% of what you can read. Sometimes that's a bit hard to read. Zoom lets you see what you actually have on the slide. If I run this as a presentation, which I can by clicking on going to the beginning and starting a presentation, there are no, now slides are loading. Now you see the title and subtitle placeholders. There you don't see the please read what follows. That's on the 20% of the top of the slide that isn't visible, but you do see the science definition as well as example 1 and the 2 other blank slides. Now you can save a presentation as a PowerPoint file or as a PDF, and you can also print the slides. If you have speaker notes, they can also open. So these are features that even an uploaded presentation has. So there are lots of ways to use presentations in Google Docs. Now on the reading passage slide, if I go back to that and enlarge it some so we can actually read the letters. A little too large. Again, you may need to experiment with the settings. So this is readable. It's legible. I ought to be able to annotate this. Let's say I try a line, and it doesn't look like I can change the line any. So if I can underline science. It does have to deal with knowledge. And you do have to click on each tool individually in order to have them activate. In order to get knowledge underlined, I had to click on the line tool again. There is a select tool, and that will allow you to select particular words. So we've got, let's see, some other key points here. The information's testable and allows for predictions. So there isn't a highlighter. You can't you can change text colors. Here's the line color tool. I could have changed that to something else. I could also make transparent lines, so let's see what that would look like. And change its thickness and make it transparent, just like I made an outlined area transparent before. Now I ought to be able to highlight theoretically I can highlight. So I do have a yellow outline here. And I can relocate it. So theoretically I could highlight, but as you can see it blocks the type right now. There is transparency, but it's limited. You can read a little bit through it. Probably if you have if I go back to a different slide, let's see if I copy that and go to, okay, and go to a different slide and say type in test copy and then paste that yellow line. It goes back to what I started with. The line goes on the outside of the box. So there's the line that I have. And if I change its thickness, we get the whole text box outline. So it didn't do exactly what I thought it might. But by experimenting with the tools, with the presentations, you can figure out what they do. So that's creating a presentation from scratch. Again, at the bottom, you have speaker notes. So that definition's from Wikipedia. And when you print out a presentation, you have the option to print out the speaker notes. So there's the title slide, there's the second slide, the test copy slide, and here's a slide with notes. So you've got handouts that are individual slides to print out, or 9 slides per page, 1 slide with notes. You can print out the one that had the notes. Here's the PDF download option, and of course the print. So that's an example of creating a PowerPoint presentation. Thanks for watching.